Welcome to the Grassroots Weekend Preview. I'm your host, Alyssa Longmuir. It's been a massive weekend of sport, so let's recap the ice hockey results to get started. It was a weekend of high scores and big margin losses, and Friday night's fixture between the Newcastle North Stars and the Sydney Ice Dogs set the tone. With a large crowd in attendance, buoyed by the presence of Nathan Walker and North American legends, the home side was looking to put on a show. The Ice Dogs took an early 2-goal lead, but the North Stars clawed one back to keep the game competitive, and the Ice Dogs exited the first period with a 2-1 lead. The second period followed a similar tone to the first. The Ice Dogs scored 2 and the visitors put up a single. The Ice Dogs would score one more before the second intermission to extend their lead 5-2. The third period was all Sydney, with Grant Tolman scoring 2 goals to complete his hat-trick, giving his team a 7-2 win over the Newcastle side. The high-scoring games didn't stop there. Saturday saw the Sydney Bears hit the road to face the CBR Brave at the Brave Cave. Sydney's number 1 goaltender, Anthony Kimlin, was present, but is rumoured to be nursing a lower body injury and did not dress for the game. Youngster James Downey suited up for the Bears, with veteran tender Luke Reed serving as backup. The Bears got off to a good start, sinking the first goal of the night to take a 1-0 lead less than 3 minutes into the game. But then the tables turned, with CBR putting 4 pucks behind Downey to take a 4-1 lead into the first intermission. Period 2 saw lots of action, with CBR scoring 5 more goals and the Bears putting away another 2. The siren sounded to signal the second intermission, but a fracas ensued. Both teams eventually headed to the locker room, but a 9-3 scoreline gave the Brave an extra spring in their steps. Period 3 saw another 4 goals from the Brave, and hat-tricks for both Geordie Woodrick and Tyler Kabara, sealing the 13-3 win for the Brave. The second half of the Melbourne Ice-Perth Thunder series got underway in Melbourne on Saturday with a 2v3 clash. Tommy Powell scored his 150th goal to open the scoring for Melbourne, and in what we've come to expect from these games, Perth answered back to tie the game. The Ice scored once more with 6 seconds remaining in the first period and took a 2-1 lead into the break. The second frame was an arm wrestle with no penalties and only 1 goal from Perth to tie the game late in the period, and the teams were tied 2-2 for the second intermission. Melbourne came into the final period firing, and 4 straight goals saw the Thunder with a hard mountain to climb. One final goal from the visitors would be the final stroke on the scoreboard, and the home side took a 6-3 win. Sunday was a similar story to Saturday's game with these two teams, but a reversal in roles. The first intermission saw the score tied at 0, and the second period saw a single goal from the Perth Thunder, giving them a 1-goal lead heading into the final frame. Perth scored another just 30 seconds into the third period, but Melbourne quickly replied to cut the Thunder's lead and tied the game a few minutes later. Perth then added another 3 to make the scoreline 5-2, but the Ice would score one more time with 6 seconds left on the clock. This wasn't enough, and Perth Thunder dealt the Melbourne Ice their first regulation defeat of the season with a 5-3 score. The Mustangs travelled northwest to spend the weekend in the city of Churches in their quest to break into the top 4. Jamie Burke scored the only goal of the first period, giving the visitors a 1-0 lead. The Mustangs scored another 2 in the second frame before the Adrenaline scored to break the shutout. However, Melbourne still took a comfortable 3-1 lead into the second intermission. The Mustangs would improve on this and score 2 more goals in the final period, the final goal coming short-handed and into an empty net to seal the 5-1 win for the visitors. Sunday's game between these teams didn't differ too much, with the Mustangs putting up lone goals in the first and second periods and taking a 2-0 lead into the third. Melbourne would score 3 more goals to Adelaide's 2, with the Mustangs winning the game 5-2 and taking home 6 points. The Newcastle North Stars found themselves back in Sydney at Macquarie Ice Rink on Sunday, but with the Sydney Bears on the opposite side of the ice. The North Stars got on the board with a short-handed goal, but the Bears quickly replied on the same power play to tie the game at 1-1 and made it 2-1, 41 seconds left in the first. The North Stars tied the game up at 2 early in the second, but then the game got away from them as Sydney put up 4 goals in the second period and headed into the intermission with a 6-2 lead. Newcastle attempted to mount a comeback, scoring 2 goals in the third to make it 6-4, but their empty net gamble didn't pay off, with Sydney finding 2 more easy goals and an 8-4 win. After 9 weeks of competition, CBR Brave hold first place on the ladder with 23 points. Melbourne Ice are in second with 22 points. Perth Thunder sit in third place with 20 points. And the Sydney Ice Dogs round out the top 4 with 18. This weekend, we'll see the Sydney Ice Dogs travel to play a doubleheader against the Perth Thunder in a clash between 3rd and 4th on the ladder. The Adelaide Adrenaline will travel east to face the Newcastle North Stars on Saturday before travelling to Sydney in a clash against the Bears. The 3rd Melbourne Derby is set for Sunday evening, with the Melbourne Mustangs playing host to the Melbourne Ice in an effort to win their first of the season series. In non-AIHL hockey, the 2017 Ice Hockey Classic got underway in Sydney on Saturday, with fans being treated to all the pomp and circumstance of an NHL game. In a game where the skill and spectacle meant more than the scoreline, the atmosphere trumped Team Canada's 8-5 victory over Team USA. Newcastle North Stars captain and Australian national team member Robert Malloy joined Team USA, while Sydney Ice Dogs import Rory Rawlick played for Team Canada in last-minute additions to the roster. We were fortunate enough to attend this event, and you can find our impressions along with player interviews and more on our website. The second game of the 2017 International Ice Hockey Classic will be played at Hisense Arena in Melbourne at 7:30 on Saturday night. The 2017 Women's World Championship of American Football is underway this weekend, and for the first time ever, Australia has entered the competition. 45 Australian women have made the trek to Canada to prove their skills on the world stage. Australia will first face the host nation on Sunday afternoon at 12 p.m. Australian Eastern Time, followed by Mexico on Tuesday morning at 4:30 a.m. Australian Eastern Time. All games will be streamed online for free. Head to our website for more information. Round 4 of the 5x5 Roller Derby Championship is happening at Sydney Boys High on Saturday. The first bout of the day will start at 1 p.m, with the Central Coast Roller Derby Union taking on the Newcastle Roller Derby League. Blue Mountain Roller Derby League will take on Maitland Roller Derby at 3 p.m, Sydney Roller Derby League will battle the Western Sydney Rollers at 5 p.m, and the Inner West Roller Derby League will face the Hawkesbury Hills Roller Derby League in a final bout at 7 p.m. Tickets are $15 at the door, and kids under 12 will get in for free. Head to the 5x5 Roller Derby Championship Facebook page for more details. That's it for this week's Weekend Preview. Don't forget to connect with us on social media at Grassroots_AU on Twitter, at Grassroots_Sport on Instagram, and at Grassroots Sports on Facebook. Keep up to date with what's happening in emerging sports via our website, www.grassroots-sports.com.au. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next Friday for another Grassroots Weekend Preview.